this does conclude our industry news this past week. Man, oh man, it's been fun, that's for sure. And everybody knows you have to continue the positive vibes going. That is right. And that's why we're here with the top 5 segment. And this week, like Dustin teased a little bit earlier, it is top 5 opening scenes in a film. We've got a nice little trend going on with all of these different ideas. All of the amazing people who we've brought into the company have been sharing their ideas, and it's been helping us chug along, because if you guys don't know, like we said at the top, 299 episodes, and we've been doing a top 5 for at least 250 of them. So we've run out of things, we've repeated things, but we still have the same amount of fun. That is for sure. But yeah, this one was definitely very freaking hard, because I went with what I liked, or like what was iconic when it came to cinematic experiences, and it was crazy.
Yeah, no, this one was really difficult, because when you're as old as I am,
right,
there's been a lot of movies that had epic opening scenes, and I'm like, how the hell do I narrow this down? But recent, there's been so many great filmmakers, you know, like Christopher Nolan and all the and James Mangold and all these young guns coming up, and it, like, you know, so yeah, this was a hard one, man. But we get it, we jump into it. I think they're pretty good lists too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I completely agree. Well, starting off with my number 5, I went with the original Scream. That's right. I think what I loved about this so much was this, at least as far as my recollection goes and as far as my knowledge goes, I think this was the first time like that a serial killer was verbally like antagonizing their victim before actually going to kill them for Scream. And I think what they were able to do with the marketing campaign, with Drew Barrymore being on top of her career and like being like the main point of focus in the marketing campaign of the trailers, and then her dying within the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I think it set a precedent for other horror movies and other filmmakers to be like, okay, we need to be better about challenging the audience. And that's what they did. So yeah, number 5 for me, Scream, which of course started a great, huge, massive global franchise.
Yeah, no, without doubt. And I agree, that was a brilliant marketing campaign, because everybody thought that Drew Barrymore was the star of that film. Nobody was even talking about Neve Campbell, who was always the star of that film. and a lot of people revolted. A lot of people were pissed Drew Barrymore was killed off in the opening scene. They were like, "What the fuck? I only came to see Drew Barrymore." But you know, you got to take the good with the bad. So it was definitely an interesting start to that franchise. My number 5. Speaking of one of the masters, Christopher Nolan himself, this is one of my favorite Christopher Nolan films with 2 of my favorite actors, and just like a mind-blowing open that only I feel like Nolan can do sometimes. I'm talking about The Prestige. If you guys remember this one, it's with competing magicians played by Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman. And this opening scene, there's not a lot of dialogue, but Michael Caine narrates it. Okay, can we just talk about the start right there? Michael Caine narrating it, and you're seeing Bale and you're seeing Jackman, and it's basically this setup telling you about magicians at first and the lives that they live and how perilous and dangerous and cool and blah, 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 blah. And then without really telling you anything, you watch the dynamic as Hugh Jackman's magician is performing, and Christian Bale's magician is watching. And basically, this opening scene ends with, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I am, so spoiler alert. You see Hugh Jackman's magician drown. He's you know, in the chains, and he's locked up in the water tube or whatever. He's got to try to escape before he drowns. Well, he doesn't. He drowns. And then they focus on the close-up of Christian Bale's face in pure shock that this guy, his rival magician, just died. And that's it. And that sets the tone for the entire movie. And without really a whole lot of dialogue, you already understand these 2 characters, the complexity between who they are, the rivalry that they have, It was just one of the greatest opening scenes without a lot of dialogue that set up the film completely. And it was like, you have to keep watching now. You need to know, well, how's this rivalry happen if the one guy died? Like, you know, newsflash, it wasn't him. Yeah, just a great movie. The Prestige, man. Just Nolan doing Nolan, and yeah, great opening scene.
Fantastic, man. I love it. I love it. Number four for me goes to Warfare. Of course, A24's recent Alex Garland film that came out a couple months ago, I should say. And I think what I've talked about this film on a few different episodes, so I mean, I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I think what this film, especially within the first 15, 20 minutes, showed was the actuality of what these men go through before they're about to go into
Yeah.
combat. Especially, with certain situations that's happening in the world right now. We're not a political podcast, so we will not comment on any of those things. But seeing on social media that recently some military people were getting served lobster. I saw this on TikTok, and the guy was like, jokingly, oh, we're about to go to war. And then a few days later, the bombings in Iran happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the beginning of this film, they are watching a Take It or Easy on Me music video, which is just like basically if you think of that movie, I don't remember what it's called, but everybody knows the scene where John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis are dancing, doing aerobics or whatever. So they're basically watching an at-home fitness video, basically getting themselves pumped up before they go out into combat. And I guess that is very accurate. I looked on after I watch films, I like to watch different reviews on TikTok of the films. And a lot of military people commented on how accurate and real that is. They try
Yeah.
to put you in the best possible mindset before shipping you off to possibly die. So I mean the accountability and the realistic approach that they took to this film, and to get acknowledgement from so many other people of armed forces that commented on that was honestly astounding. But I loved it, and of course I loved everything about the film. But yeah, number four for me, Warfare. Everybody needs to check this one out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's brilliant, and like you said, that mindset of being sent to war. Not only the fact that, like you said, you might die, right?
Yeah.
It's even just as mentally unsafe that you might live, because if you live, it means you killed people. So
Yeah.
yeah, the idea of you're being sent to either kill people or be killed is a rough thing, man. You just gotta I don't even know. God bless all of them. I just, yeah, great pick, man. Great pick. My number four is one of the single greatest films of all time. It's probably the best or second best film about our beloved industry, the film industry. It's called The Player. This bad boy, I think, came out in 1992 by legendary director, brilliant filmmaker, Robert Altman. You recognize the name? Yeah, he did a couple movies you might know, like MASH and a bunch of famous stuff. But the opening scene on this one, a lot of people give credit to the other guy on my list coming up, Aaron Sorkin, because of establishing this particular thing in the West Wing, and now we see it everywhere. But I think he may have been inspired by Robert Altman, because Robert Altman did this first. And I think that's where maybe the other guy got it. The opening scene of this is about 8.5 minutes long. And it is a nonstop, one-shot scene of a film studio, a morning on a film studio, a productive morning. And the camera follows along. And it's not following one particular person. It's just on a path on the lot, walking the lot, and you overhear conversation. You must see like 30 or 40 different people, all with speaking roles, not extras, all speaking, carrying conversations as the camera is following. So you see people walking out of an office and discussing a script. You see people on set doing makeup. You see people discussing financing on a thing. You're walking, and the whole time it never breaks from the scene, and it ends up in the office of the main star of the film, Tim Robbins, being pitched a movie by a director who wants Bruce Willis as the star. And but the way it's done, it had really never kind of been done before. That sequence where it's just a nonstop one shot where people are walking and talking the whole time, 8.5 minutes of straight dialogue. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I had to put it on the list because I love those type scenes. First of all, like I said, it's been incorporated into so many things now. But yeah, just if you haven't checked out this movie, if you're a cinephile and haven't checked out this movie, what? Because it's like I said, one probably behind Sunset Boulevard, probably the best movie about our industry ever. So check it out, The Player. It'll be worth it, I promise. The Player.
Definitely, definitely. Number three for me goes to Baby Driver. This film was awesome all the way around. But the opening sequence, of course, we see Baby doing what Baby does, driving. And he is so freaking cool. John Bernthal is so freaking cool. John Hamm is so freaking cool. All of these people in the same car at once, acting their asses off,
Yes.
while, of course, they're eluding the police because they are bank robbers getting away. But I would say, a classic car chase scene, right? I think a car chase scene is like very imprinted on the entertainment industry. It is one of those things that you can bank on being exciting.
For sure.
But you can also overdo a car crash scene. And I feel like what they did with the chase, with the crash, with the getaway, it was amazing and it was awesome. There was a lot of great dialogue throughout this whole entire film, but especially the beginning. So that's why I had to put it on my list. Number three for me, Baby Driver.
Oh, I agree with you completely. Baby Driver, an opening car chase sequence done right. Fast and Furious, not the first, but several after. Opening car chase scenes done wrong. Yeah. Where, like you said, they go too much over the top. It's like, yeah. Baby Driver, oh my God. Separate Kevin Spacey from the alleged crap, right?
Yes.
That's got to be some of the coolest cast ever. John Hamm and John Bernthal and Kevin Spacey in a fucking movie together. Are you fucking kidding me? That is so badass.
It is.
Like, anyway. My number three, it had to be on the list. Had to be. It is probably one of the most terrifying opening scenes in cinematic history. Literally, because no one, tourism places everywhere were pissed at this movie like you're killing our fucking summers. I'm of course talking about Jaws. That's right, the opening sequence where you see this cute couple and they're flirting and they're playing at the bonfire on the beach and they're drunk and then the girl teases and runs off and the guy's like, ow! And he runs after her. And you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a cool opening scene where dude gets lucky, they're going to have sex on the beach, it's going to be cute. Not exactly the way it went. If you guys remember, it was teasing, it was playful, it did get flirty, and she's like, come on, let's go in the water. And then that was it. They went in the water, and boom, Jaws came. Dun, 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 dun. Dude didn't see her. Didn't get, no. Jaws got lucky. Just one of the greatest. I mean, come on. The iconic music, the terrifying, she goes down, comes back up. You're not sure what's going on. Oh, she goes down again. Oh, and then just, you're done. Yeah, it was terrifying, but epic. So there you go. I fucking loved it. Jaws, one of the best film openings of all time. I mean, come on, man.
Completely agree, man. Completely agree. Iconic, the inventor of the blockbuster.
Yes.
That is for sure. But I mean, speaking of blockbusters, my number two was a huge blockbuster. Man, oh man, I'm talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Just the opening sequence of Ryan Reynolds dancing to Bye Bye Bye. Oh my goodness, it was so good. With, of course, the body parts of Logan, the Wolverine. And it was just honestly one of the most hilarious things that you could ever see in a movie theater. But that is Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, telling you what he's doing, and fighting and kicking ass while he's doing it, because he's an awesome marksman and, what am I looking for? Just, awesome at fighting, basically.
Yeah.
Mixed martial artist. There we go. But yeah, that I loved every second of it, and it was a great way to be welcomed back into the Deadpool universe. So yeah, number two for me, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Also holds the distinction for being the most violent opening scene in a Disney film ever.
Makes sense.
Just saying that. Somewhere Robert Iger was going, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, thank God the mouse isn't on this thing. Yeah, just wow. Yeah, it's quite the scene, no doubt about it. My number 2, I'm shifting, guys. I'm bringing it. This is not a film, but it should have been, which is why I'm putting it on the list. And this is one of the greatest opening scenes of a film or a television series that I have ever seen in my life, hands down, period. I'm talking about the opening scene of The Newsroom, Aaron Sorkin's political series, basically about broadcast news, cable news, covering the Hillary Clinton election cycle. Jeff Daniels, Will McAvoy, he's a slightly delusioned, kind of tired of his own party. He's a Republican, and just not in a good place. And he's doing this. He's a guest on a panel, and they're discussing politics and the nature of the country. And this girl in the audience, all the people up on the stage are discussing why they think America is the greatest country in the world. Why it stands for what it does. And this girl asks him, why do you think it is the greatest country in the world? And then that's it. He just explodes into this monologue of epic proportion about everything wrong in America. And he's like, we're not the greatest country. We're 26th in this. We're 14th in this. We're last in this. We got this wrong and that wrong. And he just goes just epically and then just tears this young girl a new asshole. Just like rips her apart. And as you see her just fade, as he's going. And I don't know. It's just, regardless of where you fall politically, whatever you think, it's one of the greatest nonstop monologues of dialogue I have ever and Jeff Daniels, the Dumb and Dumber, you think all the comedic stuff. This said, no, I'm a fucking Oscar-worthy, Emmy-worthy, dramatic actor nailing this shit. I just... Yeah, Aaron Sorkin being Aaron Sorkin at the best. And that opening scene, outside The Newsroom, watch it. You can find it on YouTube. Even if you don't watch the series, watch that opening scene. Fuck. So good.
Yeah, I remember when it went viral when it first aired. And it's so good. It's at points in my life, it made me cry.
Yes,
that's good.
And sadly, still relevant. He could give that same speech today and it's all still true. That's why it's terrifying. It's the same thing with Sorkin writing The West Wing. It's all still accurate. Anyway, move on.
Anyway. Oh, goodness. Well, number 1 for me, guys, goes to arguably one of, if not the best mobster film of all time. I'm talking about Goodfellas. Oh my gosh. Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Martin Scorsese. All my life I knew I wanted to be a gangster. The process of these 3 gentlemen driving in the woods at night, it's dark, in the middle of nowhere. They start to hear a banging coming from the trunk of their car. Oh yeah, they forgot or didn't realize that they didn't kill or hit the guy hard enough before they buried him.
Yes.
This is what it means to be a mafioso in La Costa Nostra, or whatever the hell it's freaking called. But yeah, everything about this film is amazing, but it kind of puts it into perspective, how people either fall into things or have always wanted to be things their entire life, or when they were growing up and then they finally get to be it and then realize, oh, maybe I bit off a little bit more than I could chew.
My bad.
This film is damn near perfect and probably in the top 10 best films of all time.
For sure.
So yeah, number 1 for me, Goodfellas, an amazing classic.
I have an interesting question for you.
Sure.
Because Ray Liotta's brilliant. One of the best actors of the modern generation. A tragedy that he's not with us anymore. Just incredible. And I personally he killed it in that film. If this film was made just a few years later, now knowing the dynamic that Mr. Scorsese has with another individual, do you think Ray Liotta is not in that film and it's Leo DiCaprio in that role? If it was made just a few years later, do we not see one of the most iconic Ray Liotta roles ever? Would it be DiCaprio?
I don't know. I think DiCaprio's too pretty. I think that.
You think?
I think.
But you can rough him up a little bit. You can muss him up.
Yeah, I still think he's very model-esque. Ray Liotta has that edge about him. And, of course, with Marty being from the neighborhood, being around these guys growing up, they're not pretty.
No.
I mean, you have some handsome guys, but, like, they all have, like, these scars, these cuts, this edge about them that I feel like a younger Leo, I don't think, could pull off. So yeah, it is an interesting thing, but yeah, I mean,
I think Leo would bring an interesting take on the role.
He would.
I mean,
yeah,
for sure.
I'm trying to think, like, because Leo has never played like a mafia guy. Like, I mean, he's played like in Gangs of New York, but that's different. It's a very interesting thing that maybe we should write. Who knows?
There you go. We'll call Marty up. We'll say, listen, man, let's just try this. Let's go.
Listen. I know Steven Spielberg. We meet at McAllister's. It's fine.
The back room of McAllister's, because that's where it all goes down, right there.
Exactly.
All right. Just had to throw it out there. I just was as soon as you were describing all that, I'm like, damn, that's an interesting question. Okay, my number one, I want to get real serious here for a minute. Forget all the laughter, forget all the kind of stuff. My number one is probably the single most realistic, terrifying, chilling, hard to watch, dramatic, make you feel every emotion possible opening scenes in cinematic history. And I'm talking about Saving Private Ryan, where we see the invasion, on D-Day, storming the beaches. I had never seen anything like that ever in my life. The degree in which the violence was portrayed in that, and yet the most respectful, realistic way. I really have no words to describe it. If I don't know about your audience, if you saw it in the theater or not, but my audience was silent. All you could hear in my auditorium was crying, people crying, watching it. I think that it's the definition of, if you are ever one of those stupid ass individuals who questions why we call them the greatest generation, why we herald them as the heroes that they are, and why we even exist in America today, watch the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, and that will answer any question you may have about why they're called that. These young men who lied about their ages to go to that war, knowing, like you said earlier with warfare, they were going to die. That ramp comes down on that boat and they, right away, they're dying. And before they even get off the boat, they're fucking dying. And they've got to storm forward on that beach and climb up that fucking hillside. And it's, I don't know, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks and the accuracy in which they pull that opening scene off really just, I don't know. I have no word. Saving Private Ryan, my number one. It's just probably the most powerful cinematic opening scene I've ever seen in my life in any film. And it's just, just incredible.
Also in the top 10 greatest films of all time.
Oh, without doubt.
There's no way it isn't.
No.
There's no way it isn't. But anyway, guys, that is our top 5.
Now get happy again.
We want to know, what is your top 5 or favorite film opening? We want to know. Opening scene in a film. Did it grab you? Did it lurk in the shadows? Was there a nice slow burn? Okay, there's so many different types of film openings, and we definitely want to know. Be sure to comment down in the YouTube comment section. Add us on Twitter or any of the social handles. And yes, keep rocking and rolling, man. Live your best life.
Yes.